our celebrity nutritionists whom we are glad to have amongst us. To understand our science, he uses his science.
If the entire country had to have intelligence and technology built into our roadways, do you think it will be a pleasure to drive in India? Being an exceptionally focused individual, because AI will beat us hands down any day. Students no longer need to be geniuses because the world of computation has arrived. "2,000 years from now, if this recording is somewhere, I still feel spaceships are going to be piloted by a captain, but it will all be run by AI. But AI will not be able to defeat us on one quotient, and that is called the emotional quotient. You all in this room may have one day wanted to become a doctor. I wasn't smart enough to become a doctor. I didn't even get into engineering. I got into BSc microbiology and biochemistry. But screw it, I am changing people's lives because I choose to take a workload and change somebody's life because it beats any paycheck at the end of the day. So work to change lives, don't look at workload, my friend."
Our celebrity nutritionists whom we are glad to have amongst us.
How are you?
Second time. I call upon Mr. Ryan Fernando to discuss
But I will connect with you separately.
how is technology for the past 20 years to understand our science. He uses his science.
I think I don't need any other introduction. Over to you, Fernando.
Thank you, thank you. Hi everyone, good afternoon. How are you guys? I was given a topic that had me to do a lot of research to make the presentation, and the presentation came to me. I don't know if it even will come up, whether it's valid and stuff like that. I'll just leave my laptop over here, 1 second. Do you guys want a slide on top, or you want me to speak? Speak? There was some nice AI slides made by my team. Mehul, if you can get those AI slides up for me, it was on a pen drive. If it comes over here. Okay, so this is where technology fails and human skill comes in. So what's my lecture about? Technology and innovation and stuff like that. For those of you who do not know me in this audience, my name is Ryan Fernando. I am a nutritionist. I probably have today one of the largest nutrition clinics in the country with 150 dietitians. I started with 2 dietitians. Thank you so much. And I have competitors who have larger clinics, but they use artificial intelligence to run the programs of wellness for the end consumer. Now, many of these companies are funded. I am not funded. And so today when I decided to speak, it's kind of not my story, but your story. And how does this go? I just want to know in this audience, how many of y'all are in the wellness space or will go into careers of wellness? Raise your hand. Almost 70%. All right. The reason I asked this question is this presentation is very relevant to your future. And I see very young faces over here. Today's newspaper, 9 crores of fine was collected on the Bangalore-Mysore highway. How much? 9 crores. What did they do? The police was not stopping people, right? How did they collect the fines? Cameras. What is camera? High-speed camera. It was catching people without seat belts. Technology is making the cops feel really happy, right? 9 crores of fine in 2 weeks. Okay, so where were we? You driving on Mysore highway and you get fined. What's the basis of this lecture? If the entire country had to have intelligence and technology built into our roadways, do you think it will be a pleasure to drive in India? Absolutely yes. 9 crores of fine would be found in 1 minute in our entire country. And within 1 year, people would stop breaking the rules. Why? Because like me, I one day had to drive my car. It was 2 days, my driver went on leave, and I broke the signal on both days. Because I was thinking about somebody's diet chart and driving, and the signal is going to turn red. It's okay, it's going to turn red. So the moment I got that fine, what happened was, I began to recognize that that signal has a camera, so I am going to stop first only. Human behavior. You'll understand. I know a lot of you paid money or something or come from a long way. What's the relevance? Technology. So today when I work in my clinic, I'm always asking this question, how can I get a better diet chart? I worked with Amir Khan, I worked with Shahid Kapoor, Virat Kohli, blah, 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 all the possible celebrities. We built processes and systems in our nutrition clinic that range from genetic testing, blood testing, all of these things. But do you know what? 50 to 60% of the time, we don't have the bandwidth capacity here to integrate it all. So our generation, those of you above 45, your time is done. In terms of you will work in the old school and you'll be good at what you do because you have the experience. But to anyone who's under 40 years of age in this room, this is my first tip to you. My first tip to you is become exceptionally brilliant human beings. Become exceptionally passionate about what you do in the wellness space. It cannot be a 9-to-5 job. It cannot be a job. It's a calling. If you are going to counsel people in medicine, Ayurveda, diet, exercise physiology, training, Pilates, yoga, whatever it is you do, being an exceptionally focused individual, because AI will beat us hands down any day. But AI will not be able to defeat us on one quotient, and that is called the emotional quotient, as yet. Somebody will pull this recording out 40 years later, maybe an AI will pull it out and say, look, Ryan Fernando was wrong, right? But till such time, I believe the emotional quotient of you is very important. So I'll give you an example. Man first, killed his food and ate it. Then community happened. Then some elders were there and they told, there is Tulsi, very good. Ashwagandha is very good. They started recommending it to people. Then people like me came along. Okay, we're like, okay, we're nutritionists, you need to follow this, you need to do all of this. And my reason for being invited here today was to say, how good or bad is AI going to be for the future? How is technology going to help us? Is it going to kill us? So I'm just thinking, like the worst thoughts went through my head. The robot realizes that I'm allergic to oranges and craftily designs a super biryani with orange extract in it. Now I know what all of you are thinking. Who puts orange flavor in a biryani? I'm playing with your thought process because you're a human and you've been able to identify that mistake. I am putting scientific studies through AI. It's helping me in clerical work currently. It's not helping me in hard-hitting human thinking. So I'll give you an example, okay? There's a study done on pomegranate juice. And I remember reading it about 6-7 years ago. And in one part, I went, whoa, this is amazing. What was amazing? Carotid intimida thickness. For those of you who have a biology background, carotid artery, there's a thickness and there's a scan that can be done on this artery. So when you get plaque is the deposits, it begins to cut. The size begins to become smaller and smaller. So they found out that when they gave people, even now I can't remember, so I would have to use a computer to go to Google to search up the exact thing. But you get where I'm going, right? I still need technology, but the work came from my brain, which was reading, which was When people took pomegranate extract with the seeds in it, or pomegranate juice with the seeds blended in the juice, the carotid intermediate thickness reduced by up to 35% after 1 year of daily consumption. Dranex in the human body. So it helps you clear it up. Now I went to AI and I forgot that study. Now can you imagine if I have to search for that study, how much time it would take me? I'd have to read article after article that Google would rank for me. It'll be a 1 hour job. Then find that research paper and remember that was the research paper and then go to that. So I told AI to find it for me. AI found about 5 more papers for me. But I don't have the time to read those 5 more papers. And I didn't know which favor. So I told AI, I pulled out the PDF, I banged the PDF into ChatGPT version 4. I'm using the paid version. I'm paying 2,000 rupees a month. And boom, I said, okay, there's this paper, find this for me. I'm sorry, we are not able to comprehend your request. But it gave me 4 more articles. So basically, if there's a win for AI and there's a loss for AI, I'm actually waving both flags to you. In the center is the human being. So people ask me about this personal diet or personal medicine or AI medicine. Have you heard of robotic surgery? Yes. Is a robot doing the surgery alone? So in the world of health, preventive health, I believe the opportunity for each and every Indian to have a job is massive. Where we will fail? We will fail because we don't have what is known as respect to our career or job. We think of it as a 9 to 5. There is a Malik over there. Malik ka matlab, the boss or the owner, the entrepreneur, organization. Oh, but when you're an entrepreneur, when you run your own business, then you change your behavior. But here's the problem. Conglomerates are going to move towards branding. Conglomerates are going to move towards mass scale. Don't understand what I'm saying? Would you choose to go to a polyclinic in your lane in Indranagar, or would you choose to go to Apollo Hospital or Manipal Hospital? And that doctor who runs a polyclinic is also practicing in Manipal and in Apollo. My point here is this. If you're looking to build your career, I'm seeing very young faces over here. If you're looking to build your career, AI and technology is going to help you become great. But if you do not have the human quotient to practice with empathy, with passion, I'll give you an example. Today I was listening into a call by one of my dietitians and she's like, so that means, sir, you're telling me that you didn't take the multivitamin. Could there be a better way you could have framed that question? It's okay, sir. You know, you've forgotten to take the multivitamin. I'm sure you were busy, but we'll do it the other way. So emotional quotient is very important because your scientific acumen, and I think I'm going to be trolled on the internet for this, students no longer need to be geniuses. Students no longer need to be geniuses because the world of computation has arrived. My 11-year-old son, I want him to learn people skills, visit the world, social studies, learn about history. But when he asked me today, Papa, what's the distance between the sun and the earth? I'm like, let's Google it up. Why would you need to memorize that in a textbook? So for those of you who are learning, those of you getting into a job, your memorization is not the key skill. I take interviews of dietitians when they join our company, of doctors when they join our company. They're like, don't you want to ask me any technical question? There is no technical question that cannot get answered today in under 5 seconds depending on your broadband speed. So what am I looking for? I am looking for Indians who have our traditional cultures of pehle aap pani piyega, right? The other day somebody walked into my office, it was a courier guy. I looked at my receptionist and I says, And she's like looking at me. Then later it's like, ma'am, you need to offer a glass of water. Sir, he's Korea fellow. Are you getting my story? Have any of you ever visited Japan or watched Japanese videos? There's a certain love for the profession that they do. We are 1.3 billion people. We are probably going to be outpaced by AI because conglomerates and entrepreneurs like me, when you give me SaaS and walk into my clinic, I'm going to look at my HR manager. अरे भाई और 3 सब्सक्रिप्शन का AI ले लो ना. ये तो मैडम ये जो साहब जो आता है ना बहुत ग्रे बाल दे रहा है. Human skill. Trust me, the world is going to go to Star Trek. Probably your children won't need to work. Then the governments will have to figure out who are lazy people, who are creative people, who are intelligent people, and give them tasks to do, because everyone will get the same payment, and the task that you do will give you fulfillment. I meet people who are 50 to 70 years of age in counseling rooms, and they are searching for fulfillment. रोटी कपड़ा मकान है, बीवी बच्चा है, तो क्या चाहिए इसके बाद? So please understand that wellness, healthcare is going to be a massive business in our lives. I'm hoping that I influence you in this room to become what I have become, which is a nutritionist who's very well known. So people say, oh, you speak very well. Do you know why I speak very well? Because I have been doing from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the night for the last 2 decades, bada, 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 bada. So you get good at talking, right? But now when you do bada, 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 you got to back it up, right? So when you go back and watch a movie with your wife, while she's watching the movie, you're looking at a scientific study and you're reading the subtitles. Why? Because you're put on this earth to change the way people's health is. Could I influence you on that thought process? Stop looking at it as a job, and you will get very successful because people will be attracted to you. I want to go and meet this person for their blood test, for their medicine, for their physiotherapy, for their exercise, for the yoga, Pilates, whatever it is. You will have that vibration. The next thing you know, the whole family is coming to you. The next thing you know, you've gone from 1-room clinic to 5 rooms. The next thing you know, you've hired 4 people, plus ChatGPT and AI to help you along the way. So, advanced AI is going to come in, and it's not going to win. Because humans are lazy. Think about it. Exercise wearables, tracks my sleep and everything. Ryan Fernando, you've done 1,759 steps today. The technology has not enabled me to walk more. It's only informed me that I have not walked enough. Are you getting my picture? So all these companies that are coming out today are spending heavily on tech. And I know there are no VCs in this room right now. But this is it. If you enter into a company or a business of your own, or join a company that is into healthcare, people real estate value is going to be the most valuable asset to convince somebody to change this behavior where he did not even walk 2,000 steps. So imagine if you call me up like, sir, how many steps you did today? Madam, I did only 2,000 steps. So what happened? Actually, today was a holiday, I had to go for happiest health seminar, so I got up late in the morning. I didn't do my exercise in the morning. I called it a day. I didn't wear my watch till 1 o'clock. Maybe that could be a reason. But sir, did you walk in the morning? No, I didn't walk in the morning. Okay, why you didn't walk in the morning? Madam, today's holiday now. I was going to go and meet some people. I'm going to stand the whole day. Okay, sir, tomorrow morning can you walk? Yes, AI can't do that. As yet. And even if AI could do it, you'd be like, Sala, ये तो computer मेरे को बोल रहे कैसा है? इसका subscription कर लो. But if the person is there, you'll go back to your baby. Hey, look at my dietitian, how she's talking to me. That is human engagement. Like or dislike. Love or hate. And that component in healthcare wellness, and which is why if you met some of the most successful doctors, Their bedside manner is the best in the world. Has anyone met Devi Shetty? The best bedside manner in the world. That guy is a god of bedside manner. So what am I saying to you? Become the god of bedside manner in human emotional capital and use AI to become your business partner. And that would make you the most successful at whatever you do. My team has put all of this together. I've got to read it out, okay? Machine learning algorithm. Blood tests, they're bringing out algorithms. Cholesterol algorithm. By the way, I'm old school, okay? I studied at Goa Medical College in 1996. So for those of you who are not yet born at that time, then you know how old I am. Okay? So machine learning algorithm, we looked at cholesterol profile, LDL, VLDL, HDL, triglycerides, lipoprotein A, lipoprotein B, homocysteine. Tuck, you looked at it, boom. Why? Because we saw that many numbers. So here's my next tip to you. You are an algorithm. I know the tech companies are going to build an algorithm to make your life easier. But if you want people to go, wow, all you have to do is start taking the basic tenets of your profession and practicing it. And especially the youngsters who rely on calculators, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. That is AI for you. But what if you know 2 plus 2 on your pen and paper? The other person knows that this person has value. Maybe 2 generations down the line, they will know that the AI is the person they need to turn to. But this 90-year-old on the planet today, till whoever is in this room, your children, will still trust a human being to give an opinion, to give a therapy, or to give a prognosis or prescription. So the bottom line thread is you can have the best algorithms. Human behavior is a complex algorithm that we understand. So practice more. So I'll give an example. Up until last year, I was doing 180 cases per year, and it continued for 14 years. My nearest colleague had the highest practice of 62 cases per year. So 14 years later, you understand the spread of experience. So this goes to all you youngsters. Sir, it's 5 o'clock in the evening. I'll not get bus back home. You got bus, you got Ola, you got car, you got air conditioner, you got electricity, you got Netflix, you got Swiggy, you got Zomato, you got what to complain? Our hardest day in our life today was the easiest day of your grandfather. Sorry, did I say that right? No. It's the opposite, right? See, I need an AI to correct that right now. But you're getting where I'm going, right? The most difficult day of our life, our grandfather will be like, what man? No AC? You sleep under the fan. Oh, you have no computer? My father said once he went on a date with my mom, he waited for her for 3 hours. Where are you? I'm already here. So use technology to your advantage. By the way, the wearable technologies are amazing in healthcare, not because it's accurate. I'm going to be shot by a few companies where I'm consulting with. But I've been very successful as a nutritionist because I use technology. I'll give you an example. I won't take names. Today I finished a very famous person in the morning. And he says, okay, I've done the microbiome test. And I told him that he needed to avoid white rice for the first 2 weeks. And he said, yes, I'll follow it. I'll do it. The secret I wish to tell you is this. If I had told him without an algorithmic data of testing his shit, his poop, microbiome test, for those of you who don't know what microbiome is, it's found in the gut, 1.5 kgs. You can only analyze it by taking a stool sample. Stool meaning poop, shit. So only after analyzing his shit, and I got this report of the DNA analysis of the bacteria in his gut, and I told him that he shouldn't be eating white rice. He said, I'll do it diligently for 2 weeks. Had I met him without the microbiome and told him, you need to avoid rice. Idiot, celebrity nutritionist, what he knows. Our full khandan eats rice all their life. My grandfather, dadiba, everyone ate rice. Why should I avoid rice? So you got to figure out how to put all of this together. And this is the potential drawbacks of these diet apps or any apps that are exercise apps and all. I believe inherently only 5% of the human race will get up and punch you in the face. Those are the go-getters. 95% of us are lazy, right? Like I didn't do my workout today in the morning. I'm like, I'm going for happiest health. My legs will hurt if I go on stage, so I won't do my burpees, push-ups, nothing. I want you to memorize or take photograph of these points because this is where you can make a difference to your life, your business. Okay? Lack of personalized guidance, AI is not there as yet. Data security concerns, dude, if somebody gets my mobile phone, I have probably at least 100 film stars and actors in there. That's my biggest worry. What happens when I have all their data online and it disappears or somebody takes it? Over-reliance on technology. Sir, we're in Leela Palace. Sir, one client is arguing with us. His weight is 85 kgs normally. The weighing scale is showing 70 kgs. Are you in the ballroom? Yes, sir, we're in the ballroom. Is the floor carpeted? Yes, sir, the floor is carpeted. Go outside, find marble floor, place the weighing scale over there. The weighing scale will work correctly. How do I know that? The Dean of Goa Medical College made me do 1,000 patients over 3 months weighing. Right? Stand, take the weighing. And dude, you have the electronic weighing scale. We had that one. Whoever laughed in this room knows the weighing scale I'm talking about. And which means you're old. Okay. I want to take some questions because I think it's all about you. So let's take some questions and see if you've got value today. By the way, I've written a book called Weightless and another book called Eating Secrets of Champion. So the best 3 questions that I get today will get a signed copy from me of those books. So who's asking the most now don't go to AI and ask Ryan Fernando the best question possible. How does it work for questions over here? Just raise your hand if you have a question. So is somebody going around, oh, they have individual mics. How cool is your technology? Is there any questions that you want to ask me about nutrition and the previous one? Yes, ma'am.
First of all, I'm really excited to see you in person.
Thank you. Your name, please, ma'am?
I'm Dr. Krida.
Nice to meet you, doctor.
Nice to meet you. I do follow your podcast and a huge fan of yours. So my first question is, where is India in terms of nutrigenomics? Are we still in the nascent stage, or are we as advanced as the UK and the US so far?
Good question, doctor. I'll divide this question into 2 parts.
Okay.
First part is we started, that is my clinic, Core Nutrition Clinic, started genetic nutrigenomic testing in 2011.
Wow.
As early as then, and we used to send the sample to the US. We continue to be one of India's highest collectors of nutrigenomic tests and send it out because that's how I believe my practice should be run. For example, there was a question about gluten sensitivity in the previous, and I think you mentioned HLA-DQ8 and DQ5 and the sensitivity. Now, that's what we do. So the question over here is, India at 1.3 billion, we are not even doing 0.001 of the population, first thing. But those that can afford it and those that are getting influenced and listening into podcasts and blah, 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 or have the knowledge are slowly asking for the nutrigenomic, which is the nutrition gene testing, right? I have an issue with the nutrition gene testing from a lot of formats is that the data is predominantly Caucasian driven. So the statistical set of population that is being analyzed to say that this gene pair, HLA-DQ5, is towards gluten sensitivity, I could throw a spanner in the works and saying that, but that is from that end of the population. Having said that, I am no scientist, so what I did is I started testing sets of people saying, sir, this is not our data, but can we do it? And the people that come to me have the money. So they said, yeah, it's okay, we can afford it, We go out to Maldives and we spend like 10 times that amount. We started doing this, and then if we got a negative genetics, we now recalibrated the behavior towards which is the epigenetics,
Yeah.
which is diet, exercise, environment. And the change was monitored in a 6-month diet plan, 1-year diet plan, and we saw fantastic transformations, if you would like to call it. As a result, it transformed from Olympic level superstars into my clinic, and then that Olympic level superstars is being trained by that fitness trainer. The fitness trainer starts bringing his rich lifestyle clients, and then those people start doing it. And so we have had a phenomenal amount of movement in this space, so much so that recently Reliance Industries purchased Strand Genomics.
Wow.
When they did that, I went, whoa, which means in the next 10 years, we're going to be doing a lot of sequencing of the Indian population, and that's going to help us. And this is very interesting over here, doctor, since you asked this question. We marry within communities, right?
Yeah.
So you have individual population sizes, which could be like, you could do a PhD in a Goan population. You could do a PhD in a Telugu population on one gene in wheat.
Yeah.
There's so much of research potential available. So I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, yes. Just one follow-up question to the same thing. Does Quant Nutrition do anything in nutritional research? Like, exactly like you said, do we have a rigorous nutritional research fraternity in India? Research at all is quite weak in India, but how are we in nutritional research?
No, so I've had limited money building Quant Nutrition, not taken funding. Our research is mostly of talented dietitians in our team who go onto the internet and do it. But I can tell you that ICMR and National Institute of Nutrition, the people that are there, they are doing research. Is it at a level that Ryan Fernando would be happy?
Yeah.
I would love to be the CEO of National Institute of Nutrition and really push the envelope for nutrition research in India in 2 departments, rural and urban. So rural is where we have all the diseases which are from a lack of nutrition, and in urban it's your metabolic issues and stuff like that. And that is a bottomless pit. So maybe in 10 years from now we'll start a research institute. Let's do that. Somebody over here will head it.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you so much, doctor. A weekless book. Meet me after. Lovely question. Any other questions? Anyone has to catch a taxi can leave. Okay.
Yeah, Ryan, my question.
Where? Yeah.
My question to you is...
Name, sir?
Yeah, Arnab Guha from Impeccable Innovations, Bangalore.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have been working with autistic kids a lot, especially below 8 years of age.
Okay.
So from your experience, how is autism, is it spreading very fast in India, and what's your intake for the future of these children, especially from nutrition point of view?
So, I don't have the statistical data on its spreading, but I'm assuming at 1.3 billion population, we have a lot of clinically undiagnosed autistic children. My experience is with autistic children. In fact, we have pediatric nutritionists in our clinic. My first ever experience was my most memorable autistic case around 2011. And the girl had never spoken in her life at the age of 8. And we sent her entire stool, blood and urine sample to the US. The lab was called Geneva Laboratories, and it's called the Nutraval test. That is like the Rolls Royce of testing. It was a $1,000 test. Now, why am I telling you this whole story? When we began to change her diet, because there's enough of research out there on gluten-free, casein-free, and our Indian diet is loaded with gluten and casein. Casein is your paneer, gluten is your bread, roti, and so we are contaminated. And autistic children before the ages of 12 will have a certain mouthfeel taste that they do not want to experiment with. So if you try and be adventurous as a nutritionist, they're going to shut you down. They're used to something and then they throw tantrums and the parents can't take it. So I have seen that girl in 4 months of a diet plan who had black stools because of huge amount of fungal infection in the stool say mama for the first time. So for me, that was proof in the pudding that Ryan Fernando, whatever you're doing, this group is there. Having said that, I had an own neighbor of mine who had an autistic kid, and I was like, Pichi, you got to do this, you got to do this, you need to do the genetic test, you need to do this, you need to do that. And the guy drives a high-end vehicle, wears a Rolex watch and didn't do it. So the problem over here is parents are unaware that nutrition will have a significant impact on the development and the association of relationship. I don't know what you call it, but the interaction with human beings can be marred by bad nutrition, and it's the parents' responsibility to change the nutrition. And in the affluent classes, it's happening because the parents have the ability to learn, but in poor India, it doesn't happen. And there's another problem. Parents in today's world are having accidental pregnancies, which they shouldn't because they're having only 1 or 2 children. They should have planned pregnancies, which means the husband should not smoke, drink, or have coffee 3 to 6 months before they say they're going to try a baby. So with the woman. So when your diet is devoid of insecticides, pesticides, and all of these narcotics or street foods, palmitic foods, you're obese, you're overweight. People say, how did I get an autistic kid? I don't need to answer it. But you see so many people coming in, and then when you take a track record of what they did in the last 20 years, and then when they conceive, that's a whole thing.
Actually, the main problem is coming in our society is when we know that the child may recover, but the parent is not able to imagine how can a nutrition improve an autistic child. So that's the realization point is very low currently.
Which is why, to be honest with you, I don't need to do Instagram or podcast. Like my media team came in and said, sir, do you want to become famous? I'm like, dude, have you seen my phone book? The who's who of the world have come to me. But the reason we're going to this podcast because of this problem. General India doesn't understand that as yet. But the people who are very elite have figured it out. Why do they figure it out? They travel abroad. They meet overseas experts. They see society over there. So they come back and like, अरे यार हम लोग क्या करते हैं? Like women in India think you work out. You go to a foreign gym and watch foreign women work out. It's a different level. So anyone who's gone abroad looks at the way people work out and like, dude, I am taking a stroll in the park, so they change their workout. The same goes for healthcare in making parents realize. You're talking about autism, which is mandatory. Sports nutrition. I want my kid to become Virat Kohli. I want my kid to become KL Rahul. But parents are not willing to even understand with the internet what are the better foods to give their children. So I think those of you who become parents in the future, spend more time in educating your children what is right, what is wrong. Don't give them sugar, don't give them salt. I think we could start with those basics. All of this nutrigenomics and all of that stuff is like Star Trek for most people, and they don't understand it. And then you have this world of influencers today. This is the biggest problem today is that, and I can't take names, but you should have this template in your head. Look for people who are qualified, not certified. What do I mean by that? Qualified means you went and studied that. Certified means, oh, my father spent so much for me to become an engineer and everything, and now I decided to do medicine. So people are giving advice based on their wisdom of experience, and I think that is where I have an issue. So the creation of influence is important. Influencers are important. They should give you an awareness. Ryan, today you have to walk more number of steps. But when Ryan has to choose a physical activity, he needs to go to a physiotherapist to look at his body alignment and everything, rather than going to maybe a gym trainer who will give me the exercise but has not yet assessed my body for the postural alignments, any sort of biomechanical deficiencies, etc., etc. So right now India is a free-for-all country, 1.3 billion. Everyone's doing expertise training in various subject matters. I'm happy with the government of India because certain bills and acts are going to be passed where people need to be licensed. So now once you have licensing, you have to understand government will start pushing it. So nutrigenomic testing will be pushed, autism children testings, all of these things will slowly happen. I think we need to give 5 to 10 years and this will all happen. Next question. I have 9 minutes left, so my time is up.
I'm here. It's a great point. I think you covered quite a bit of it. And I'm a mom of 3, so I get what you're saying about nutrition for children and how much moms play an important role. And also educating mothers on a deeper level is very important. And talking about AI, one thing I've noticed is the chatbots, where you could say that give me a nutrition plan or give me the meal plan. So where do you see all the dietitian and experts in nutrition other than the emotional quotient aspect of it? Is it more of an accountability that they're going to stand for or more than that?
So I think when you look at, like you said, you download from ChatGPT a diet plan. In fact, one of my business partners is doing it right now and he's actually laughing in my face. Like, look, dude, it's just giving me a 7-day diet plan. But what happens over there is human motivation is easily lost. I'm being recorded, right? So 14 years ago, about this time, I was pitching my nutrition clinics to at least about 35, 40 VCs. And I got rejected and shut down by every one of them, saying that it won't work. And then over the years, you see all of these brands come out with technology, various of them, and now they're struggling. They're laying off people, they've taken funding, they want to become a unicorn, but they can't get it there. I said to them 14 years ago, whatever your technology, Indians like Guru Dakshana. We love talking to somebody and getting advice from a third person. So my lecture was about, this point, which is what you've asked, and I didn't play the slide, optimizing nutritional roles with AI. So it's going to enhance, not replace. So whilst you do a diet plan with an AI, the AI currently, at this time, by next year it could change drastically, the integration of what I do, microbiome testing, genetic testing, all of that, will begin to give you a blueprint, a personalized blueprint. But once you start doing that, you will realize that you want to go and meet somebody and be held accountable. And my business experience has been this. Billionaires, millionaires, housewives, moms, working moms, CEO moms, children, everyone want to come. Like kids, let's go meet Uncle Ryan on Saturday. Not because they want to meet Uncle Ryan in Indranagar, because Indranagar is the best hotspot for restaurants in Bangalore. So after meeting Uncle Ryan, they're going for the cheat meal. But jokes apart, I hold people accountable, and after college, your teachers and your principals hold you accountable with your mark sheet. Then the only other person who holds you accountable is your company and your spouse. Most married people begin to ignore their spouses after 10 years. The little bit of giggles over here are those who are married. Okay? So what happens is, the AI component will not be able to hold you accountable. MyFitnessPal, Healthify, Gabbit, all of these brands are coming out. They're keeping people over there to hold you accountable. And I recently interviewed 4 or 5 dietitians from a company that's shutting down dietitians. And they're saying, people are saying, sir, we know the chart is from an AI, but we want you to call us up. Which is what my beginning lecture was about, human quotient. So if that can come in, it's great. I've been recommending the Whoop since the pandemic. So many people are like, oh, Virat Kohli is wearing the Whoop and everything. What do you recommend? So what's Whoop? Whoop is one of the most sophisticated exercise wearable bands and doesn't even have a digital screen on it. So it'll give you everything from your heart rate, your strain, everything possible. The insights you get on that, integrated to a dietitian. So I'll give you an example. I had a 70-year-old man who was not sleeping well. And on the Whoop, we figured out what was the problem. So we realized that when he was working out, he was getting a peak heart rate. So we asked him to meet a cardiologist. Cardiologist did a battery of tests and said that XYZ was an issue. They changed some medication. They asked him to not exercise at that level. His sleep changed. So I think that's where technology is going to go. And 2,000 years from now, if this recording is somewhere, I still feel spaceships are going to be piloted by a captain, but it'll all be run by AI at the end of the day. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Dr. Anirudh from Happiest Health. My question is do you think that AI will be useful in designing diets for the people who are living, who you can say who are staying in the hospitals, especially in the ICUs, or in the ward for a long period of time?
I run a nutrition clinic, so I'd like to think that won't happen because then my business will go down. But jokes apart, the correct answer or the most scientific answer, it needs to happen. My thinking comes from the logic that apparently AI has been able to scan in trauma patients who come in, the CT scans. And a doctor has experience of maybe about 7 to 10,000 CT scans in a trauma unit. But AI could scan all the CT scans, which could be as much as 2 billion, and within 4 seconds, give you the most practical, funneled version of what medical triage decision you need to take. So I believe that in hospital care, the dietitian would be available for her bedside manner like the doctor is available. I was very disappointed when Google Glass disappeared because my thought process was I would be talking to you right now and my glass would be going, say this, say this, say this, say this, say this. Right? That's what's going to happen in hospitals. And I know the people that are doing it already. So you can expect in the next 4 or 5 years, many doctors who are not keeping pace are going to get affronted by technology. So you're going to see a rapid change of the old guard, 60-plus-year-old doctors improving their bedside manner because the younger generation is relying on technology. So they'll be in the trauma cases, medical cases, urgent care, but people who need preventive care like Ryan Fernando, 70 years old, like, hello doctor, how are you? So my BP is a little bit. So this is what's going to happen in our universe right now. I hope I've answered your question.
So there's an important question. How do you see this?
Wait. Hi.
How do you see this affecting mental health? As we know that.
How do I see technology affecting mental health? Oh, it's already affected us. Have you seen any teenager today? Have you seen anyone on a flight? Have you seen human interaction? People are in their phones. I was on the metro the other day and I was like, everyone's like, I'm like, hi, I'm Ryan Fernando. Nobody's looking up. You got a free counseling with me. You could just say, sir, hi, what do you think about this time? I'm like, yeah, good. I'm from the old generation where we talk. Mental health is getting affected. Limit your mobile phone. Talk to your family. Friends go out. Have a bag. All the friends put the mobile phones together and for 1 hour, talk. I think that's where the mental health problem is coming in.
Yes, so I'm to psychotherapy. I'm a behavior specialist, and it's very, very difficult nowadays to convince, like you said, what you're looking for is the basic manners, the courtesy, asking for water. Even today, when I have a Swiggy or a Zomato guy come, I offer something or the other, even if it's a packet of biscuits or something.
That's wonderful.
So I just see that these values, when we are speaking.
I'm also going to start doing that, but I'll not do packet of biscuits. Maybe I'll give him cucumber. He'll probably throw the cucumber back at me. His mental health will say throw the cucumber back. So I want to take your question a little deeper now that you've identified what you do and what you practice. And forgive me, you have permission to troll me. In psychiatry, the one organ that is involved, the brain, is the least scanned. So I believe that going forward, the future of your PET scans of the brain, the biochemistry of the blood test, the neurotransmitter detection in diagnostic tests, and your gut microbiome, which eats the food and dumps molecules back into your blood, which go and affect your brain, are all going to be your technologically researched or diagnosed things, and then you'll get, like I get that opinion. So what I did 20 years ago was organize the dietetics and nutrition space where everyone said 2 idli, 2 sambar, 2 dosa. I started with blood tests, genetic tests, and nutrition. Your profession will go in that line. So if I were you and you were a team of people, start looking at what Dr. Daniel Amen is doing in the US. A lot in terms of scan. So patient like, oh, alcohol does that to your brain. Even 1 glass of alcohol, yes, that's your brain. People stop drinking. But when you say stop drinking or I say stop drinking, nobody believes us because they can't see it. So technology is going to help your profession have the tools to go, boom, in your face, follow my plan. Next question. Yes, ma'am. The lady behind and then sir, you. Up there, anybody else? Questions? My time is up. Anyone wants to leave? The happiest mind people are like, happiest health people are like, no, we want to go home right now. It's Saturday. Who wants to party today? No smoking, no alcohol, huh? By the way. You will live, you will go. Ladies, one thing that I would tell all the ladies in this room, smoking and alcohol affects your fertility. If there is a fertility doctor in this room, she will be able to tell you point blank, the health of your eggs is in the diet that you eat, so please follow that. Yes, young man, right there at the back, you raised your hand.
Sir, I am from Ayurveda background. I just want to ask you regarding diabetes. In today's era, we have something called CGM unit, CGM sensors. So are these CGM really useful for we dietitians? Because when I applied the CGM units to my patients, they get very excited, very hyper after eating such food that my sugar level suddenly spiked to 300. And then I need to explain them about glycemic index and glycemic load. What is actual difference between them? So what is your opinion that is this CGM sensor useful for us or they are increasing our load?
I'd like to take a poll here because this gentleman has just answered his own question. How many of you in this audience think this CGM, which is a continuous glucose monitor device placed on the arm, which is connected to your phone, which will give you real-time reading of your sugar levels, and by the way, I put on one. So how many of you believe it's going to be like absolutely amazing for you in your practice or on your body or on your parents? Please raise your hands. Maybe about 10%. Okay, put your hands on. How many of you think it's not going to help your practice? Okay, there are a lot of fence sitters. This is another 10%. So 80% fence sitters. Okay, let me give you my opinion, young man. 2 Christmases ago, I put a CGM device on my hand. Why do I say Christmas? Because I got it on 23rd of December. Laga do bhai. I am not diabetic. So Christmas Day, something happened and some people didn't turn up. So we ordered biryani. Bottle of champagne was there, beta. Biryani and bottle of champagne. Ryan Fernando is looking at a CGM. Not one spike, double spike. It went up at 2:30, came down by 3:30. At 4 o'clock it went up. So what I started doing, I started eating or drinking orange juice, pomegranate juice, papaya juice, ye juice, eating it, do. And I was getting all of this. Now my dad is like, sir, but it is not in the blood level. No, sir, it is in the arm. It is the interstitial. It is not very accurate. I'm like, Baba, it has now given me what? Awareness. My dad, I gave it to him. He's like, Arey, I put this in. Ragi porridge is giving me a spike. Last 20 years, my doctor told me to have ragi porridge for diabetes. Dad, your doctor did not meet your mother. Your mother made nachni ragi porridge hand pound. So the fiber was still there. What you lazy banda did, you went to shop and bought powdered ragi, high glycemic index. It will increase your workload. But you're not doing a job, beta. You're changing lives. So think about it. You all in this room may have one day wanted to become a doctor. I wasn't smart enough to become a doctor. I didn't even get into engineering. I got into BSc microbiology and biochemistry. But screw it, I am changing people's lives because I choose to take a workload and change somebody's life because it beats any paycheck at the end of the day. So work to change lives. Don't look at workload, my friend. All right? God bless you.